Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be cutting a mini skirt, a 3/4 skirt and a long skirt. So first we're going to cut the mini skirt. So I'm trying to get my waistline. My waistline will be at the top. So I'll just use my ruler and connect down just to mark it. Then from there I'm going to come down by 10 inches because it will be a high waist. I'll mark 10 inches downwards this way. If it wasn't a high waist, I'll make it 8 inches. So my skirt length, I'll make use of 17 inches plus 2 inches folding allowance. Then I'll connect with my ruler this way. I'll just make a horizontal line across the dots that I just made. So this is my waistline, my hip line and my skirt length. So I'll be dividing my waist by 4. 26 divided by 4. I'll make a mark, add my 1.5 stitching allowance. My hip divided by 4. I'll make a mark plus 1.5 stitching allowance. Add it this way. Then at this my full length, whatever I get at my hip, I'm going to minus 2 to give it that fitting at the downside. So I'm going to minus 2 inches at this downside this way and make a mark. Then I'll connect with my ruler. Then for the dart, I'm going to come in this way 4 inches, which is the nipple to nipple. So I'll mark 4 inches this way. Then I'm going to go in both way, 0.5 inches both sides. Then I'll still come down by 4 inches and make a mark. Then I'll connect my points with the ruler just this way. First I'll mark straight, then I'll connect the 0.5 inches down, connect the other way down. This will not be cut out, but this will just be a guide when sewing. So this 1 inch is now 0.5 inches, 0.5 inches. I'm going to replace it back this way. I'll make a mark, replace the 1 inches, then connect it back with my ruler this way. These shaded parts I won't cut this side out. So this new line now is the line we'll be working with. Then you cut it out. Then you make a notch at the dart area. Please, when cutting, make sure your fabric is on fold. This is the back. So I'm just going to get my 2 inches zipper allowance at the back this way. I'll just take my ruler and make a mark, make a straight line down this way. The only difference with the front and back is just the zipper allowance. Then when you're done, you cut it out. After cutting it out, that's it for our mini skirt. Now let's go to the 3/4 skirt. I'll still make use of the measurement I used for the mini skirt. So I'm getting my length here. Sorry, I wasn't aware that my camera wasn't catching the full length of this skirt. Please bear with me. So I'll make a mark at the top. That's where I'm replacing my waist measurement. Connect it with my ruler. After this, I'll make a line at the full length of this skirt and also connect it with my ruler horizontally this way. Then I'll go back and I'll come down by 10 inches. That's where I'll be placing my hip measurement. If it wasn't a high waist, I will use 8 inches. So I'll just make a mark at that 10 inches. Then when I'm done with that, I will come down by 17 inches. That's where I'll be placing my new measurement. I'm using 17 inches because this for a smaller size person. If you're someone that is taller, I'll be using 19 or 20 inches. Nothing exceeding 19 or 20 inches for the new length, but I'll be using 17 inches for this. I'll make a mark at 17 inches. Then I'll just make a horizontal line across the dots. Then I'll start my measurements. My hip, my new length, full length, and my waist. So I'll be taking my measurements divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch for stitching allowance. I'll do same for my hip, divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch stitching allowance. I'll minus 2 from my hip. Whatever thing I get at my hip, I'll minus 2 at my new length and place it this way. That's to help give you fitting. So whatever I get at my new length, I'm going to take it down to my skirt length. The measurement on my new will be the same measurement at my skirt length. Then I'll connect with my ruler this way. Then after connecting, I'll try and use my hand to shaping it so it doesn't have a sharp edge. Then I'll come in this way by 4 inches, then 1/2 inches both sides. That's for the darts. Now make a mark. Then I'll also come down by 4 inches. Then I'll connect with my ruler like so. First connect the straight line, then you connect your 1/2 inches this way. Please, this dart is not meant to be cut out. It's just a guide for when sewing on your fabric. So this 1/2 inches, making it 1 inch, I will replace it back this way. Because after sewing your darts, your measurement will reduce, so you need to replace this. It's very important. Then I'll connect it this way. We'll no longer be making use of this line. Then you cut it out. After cutting it out, you place it to trace your back. As usual, you leave your 2 inches zipper allowance. Then I'll cut it out. Every other thing remains the same. Just the 2 inches zipper allowance at the back. Then you cut it out. And you're done with the 3/4 skirt. Then for the long pencil skirt, we'll take our normal measurement like I did in the previous ones. My waist, my hip, and my knee. I'm placing my knee at 17. Yours can be something different. You can place your knee by 18, 19, 20, depending on the length of the person you're making the skirt for. I'm just going to get my full length. My full length here is 40. I'll just mark my horizontal lines. Then I'll do my normal division. Waist divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch stitching allowance. Hip divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch stitching allowance. Then at my new side, as usual, I'll minus whatever I get at my hip, minus 2 inches from there, and place it at my new length. Then I'll connect it. For example, if I had 12 at my hip, what I'll be placing at my new length will be 10. So I'll just connect it with my ruler this way. Then for this, whatever thing I get at my new length, I'll make sure I follow it through down to the full length of this skirt. Nothing changes. Then after marking these dots, I'll use my ruler and connect it down to the full length of the skirt. I'll still use my hand to reshape this side. It's looking too pointy. Then I'll do the same for my darts like I did. Come in by 4 inches. Make a mark. 1/2 inches both sides. Then I'm going to come down by 4 inches also. I'll roll a straight line down. 1/2 inches the other side. 1/2 inches both sides anyway. Then you now connect it with your ruler this way. After connecting with my ruler, I'll replace it back. The 1 inches, I'll replace it back. Then connect it. Then you can now cut out. Also place it to get your zipper allowance, 2 inches, like so. Trace your back this way with 2 inches zipper allowance, then you cut. And that's it for the long pencil skirt. You make a notch here. This will guide you when transferring on your fabric. You can also make a notch at the zipper side. And that's our mini pencil skirt. And this is our 3/4 pencil skirt. Please subscribe to my channel to see more contents like this. like, share and comment. See you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.